If you can't take care of yourself, you can't help others. Survivalbytraining.com.
All right, we made it through the night. The good thing about the way I face my shelter, I don't want to kind of emphasize this, is if we look, the sun is blasting us right in the face, and it's super nice and warm. Fire's pretty low though, so I'll have to get that going right away. But pretty beautiful. Okay, so I got dressed. I got the fire going again. It's kind of getting cold. It's a nice morning though. We'll have to get on the water right away because I'm starting to get dehydrated because I didn't really drink at all last night, but kind of can't because you're sleeping. After we get some water going here, we're going to go check the snares, see if we got any rabbits. Hopefully we did. And then when we get back, maybe we'll finish work on the smoke generator, or we'll work on setting some more snares for squirrels, possibly. Something I also need to do is bring something with me to dispatch the rabbit in case he's still kicking. So I'm just gonna make a little pole out of this that I cut yesterday. Should work no problem. All right. So should be sufficient. Let's go check out this snare. Okay, so nothing in the first one. That's a bummer. Check the next one's over here. It snowed a bit last night too, and I'm not seeing any fresh tracks, so it's not really a good sign. Nothing in that one either. Bummer. And the final one, nothing. Good. Okay, well. Alright, so I'm going to have to go collect a bunch more boughs. I'm going to go do that right now, and then I'll bring you guys back when I got them all trimmed off and I'm feeding them into the smoke generator to make it nice and thick, and then hopefully tomorrow or the day after, even today, we'll get rescued, and then I can light it off. Time to get another treat. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I'll grab maybe the tops of some smaller trees and I can block the door with it. Hopefully, if searchers come by or an aircraft goes by overhead, we will be in a pretty good position to get their attention and go home. So, yeah. Okay, I'll give you guys a little tour. Okay, so that's the front, or I guess probably lighting it right there's the door. You can see up in there kind of is where the birch bark is, so it's all right there. But ideally we'll grab our torch and then we can stick our torch in there and light it up. Coming around to this side. Looks pretty good too. And maybe we could use a bit more here. So I'll go ahead and do that. And we still need to make a roof for it, or a hat. So I'm going to do that as well. So be right back. Okay, so we have to make a hat for our smoke generator. That way if it snows or if it rains, it doesn't go, hopefully it doesn't rain. If it snows, it'll go down in there and then it'll get our tinder wet and then it won't work. So to do this, I'll make another jam knot like I did with the shelter. So make just an overhand knot, just like that, and then make another overhand knot. This one will be a lot bigger though, because basically what we're going to do here, just like that. I need my glove again. So I took a bunch of boughs, but I put them together and I faced it so that their concave goes out this way. Right, and that way when I put it on top, it should be like a little hat. So using the 550 cord with the big overhand knot, I'm going to slide it over top of this. There. That should jam it up against there, and I'll go ahead and wrap it a few times. If you can't tie knots, tie lots. I'll make a clove hitch. Not sure if you guys can see what I'm going to do. Across the two. I'll feed the string under, and then I'll go under like that. And that is the clove hitch. Okay, and now I can take my hat and go on top, just like that. So now hopefully if it snows or something, the snow doesn't go down into my tinder, it just kind of flecks on my hat. To make the squirrel pole, I'll need to get a piece of birch that the squirrels can run up here. So this is a pretty good size. I just found this walking back from the rabbit snare. All the way up there. So I'm going to cut this and try to set the camera over here so you guys can see. So I'm going to cut this one right here, I think. And then I might make either a spear or a bird snare out of it. Oh, I haven't decided. But if we'll have it at least, then we can use it. Okay, let's head back to camp. So, snaring squirrels. Unfortunately, the area that we're in, I can't legally snare squirrels, so I'm not actually going to set the snare. I'm just going to show you guys how I would go about designing the squirrel pole and setting it up. So to do this, I got this birch tree here. I don't need it as long as it is. It's pretty big. But I'll take it, and the first thing I got to do is figure out where the squirrels are going. So hypothetically, the squirrels have been running up and down this tree right here. So what I would do is I'll take my pole, I'll trim it down a bit. Doesn't have to be this big. The premise behind the squirrel snare is we're just going to do the exact same thing we did for the rabbit snare when making the snares. However, we'll find a tree, preferably one that the squirrels have been running up and down if we've seen lots of activity in it. We'll cut a pole, preferably birch because it's a hardwood, but depending on what area you're in and what's available to you, you might want to use something else, but I'll use a birch tree. Basically what I'll do is I'll put the pole up against the tree, and the squirrels are like humans. They'll take the path of least resistance. Instead of climbing straight up, they'll take the angular way. So now what I'll do is if I had my snares, I would put the snares on the pole, and I put them similar to how I did with the rabbit, kind of a little bit off the ground. I'll do the same thing here, but now they'll be off the pole. And the idea is the squirrel will run up the pole, get caught in the snare, it'll fall, and it'll hang itself. So yeah, that's the idea behind the squirrel pole. Okay, so I just got back to camp after doing the quick little squirrel pole there. So we still need to get some more food or find some more food sources because the rabbits didn't pan out. So we'll have to maybe look for some berries or wild edibles. I know rose hips they'll stay on the vine in the wintertime here, so we'll have to go have a look. Also, there's a creek just over there. So I'm hoping that maybe we could find open water there. We can get some cleaner water there maybe. Instead of melting snow, it'd be a little bit more efficient. But we'll have to have a look. And usually there's more wild edibles closer to the water, like berries and stuff. So maybe there'll be rose hips over there. Also, I want to build a spear just for a little bit of peace of mind at night. So I'm going to go look over there too, probably for a good birch tree that I can use for a spear. And yeah, so for the next bit though, I'm just going to collect some wood. Try to get my wood supply kind of up back to where I think it should be. Because later today we'll have to collect some more anyways. So if I put in a shift right now and collect a bunch, it'll reduce the amount I'll have to do later. Because it's been over 24 hours now without eating anything really substantial. So I'll start to get probably a little bit weaker as time goes on. So the quicker I can do the hard stuff and get out of the way, the easier it'll be later on. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I'm outside my camp again here. So we're down there, that path there. I flagged it so we wouldn't get blocked. So the creek is right here. Once upon a time, I think there was a bridge here. But not anymore. So we won't be going any further there. Instead, I guess we'll just go down that trail we saw that had the that bear bait thing. We'll see if we can find any wild edibles or potentially useful items. Another bucket would be nice. Maybe this one won't have the bottom rotted out on it. Bring you guys back when we're close. Okay, so camp is just over there. This is where I've been kind of collecting and harvesting wood. You can see the mess. So this way Here's the trail we went on yesterday briefly, so we're gonna go down here and see if we can find something useful. Okay, so we're back at this barrel. We'll make our way. There's a tree stand here. Keep on moving through here, see if we can find something good. Lots of birch in this area, which is good. So maybe we'll collect some of that on the way back. Keep it for starting the fire or for smoking later. So this spot here is where I cut that birch down to use for the squirrel pole. So we've walked up to it from the creek. So I'm gonna go on the diagonal. I believe that way is due west. We can check to make sure. Not quite. It's about, it's southwest. You guys can see. Hello. So about 2:30. So I'll maybe walk, oh, I don't know, 300? It's a bit too much. We'll try 280. Or maybe 270, we can go directly west. Alright. Take a bearing over there. Okay. Let's go for a walk. So it looks like there's maybe a grouse bedding down here, and it got gotten. Something grabbed it. Maybe a fox or a coyote, but yeah, he is no longer with us. So I just stopped by the camp again real quick here. Added some wood to the fire to get it going. So one area we haven't really gone in is this way yet. So I think I'm gonna do that. And we'll see how it goes. Yummy. More water. Hopefully be okay. Okay, so I'm gonna head due south. Probably go for about 50 meters or so. So with me pacing and snowshoes, that's probably about 40 paces. So we'll do that. And then we'll head due west and then due north. And that should bring us back to close to one of the trails we blazed across. So let's go. Somebody made a platform or something at one point. Maybe this was the bear guy again. Kind of cool. Kind of Blair Witch-esque. Nothing else around, unfortunately. No Labrador tea, no rose hips. So we'll have to keep walking here. I'm pretty much at my pace count, so I'll probably head west right away. So I decided to push on a little bit further, another 40 or 50 meters or so south. and I kind of hit a roadblock. You guys can see it on the camera, but it's really steep. So I guess now we'll have to head west. Still no sign of anything, which is rather unfortunate. So to go west, 270 on the compass. And turn. I think the GoPro is kind of affecting the compass slightly. But anyways, we're going this way. So I just have been walking back down the trail. To my trail that I made into the camp. It's a big rock. I like rocks and rock formations. This is my straight in path, so directly that way is my camp. You can actually see it from here. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to, but I can see the tarp. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go back, check the fire. So I just had a look at the time, and it's about 1:30. It gets dark around 6 here, but we still need to get out another signal. We got the smoke generator and the flag. But we also need to collect more firewood for the night to make sure it makes us through the night. We also need to make our spear. So I think I'm going to go out right now, and while I'm looking for some food and teas, I'm going to try to cut a good birch that I can make into a spear. So hopefully we can find something on our next little expedition here. I think I'm going to go a little bit further east, actually, because west looked pretty impassable. I went back and checked a few minutes ago. So because of that, I think I'm going to go east again. Hopefully find a good birch. Also need to collect some bush bundles and some more birch in case we need to light the smoke generator. I have some in my shelter ready to go already, but if the fire goes out in the nighttime and I need to get it going again. Last night I didn't have to use any birch bark or the bush bundle, thank God, but it has happened in the past where you'll have to relight the fire using birch bark and the bush bundle. So yeah, I'm gonna go head to the east. Hopefully we find something useful. If I find something, I'll let you guys know. If not, I'll see you guys back here in a bit. So this birch tree right here looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna take it for my spear. It's pretty straight for the most part. So I'm gonna cut her down. So I walked pretty far east here. And the creek turns. So we were following it that way. And it makes a turn here. And goes back. So times it. It's just about 2 o'clock, so I think I'm gonna head back, see if I can maybe hopefully see something along the way. But I'm not holding my breath. Because we've been pretty unlucky so far. But we'll see, maybe we'll get something. For my project here, I'm gonna make a little spear. Just to give me some peace of mind when I go to bed, I guess. I'll keep it in the shelter with me, or I'll lean it up against. So I don't need it to be too crazy long. Like, this is way too long, the way this stick is. So I think I'm gonna cut it, I think just after this small dip, and that should give me a decent reach with it. I can also maybe use it one end as a poker stick for the fire, but we'll see. I'm gonna cut it off so there's no knots or branches in it. And here, hopefully you guys can see. Okay, we can either keep this or burn it. But yeah, so there's my start of my spear. So pretty good length. So now obviously we got to turn the end into a tip. So this is where the fun begins here. So I'll probably saw some of it to start. So now I got this point on it. I'll gonna take some time here with my knife and try to whittle it into a little bit of a better shape, more spear-esque. So I'll see you guys right away. Okay, so that's my spear. I mean, it's pretty pointy. It should get the job done. All right, if there's a wolf or a coyote or something that comes in, it's got pretty good length on it, and it's birch, so it's a hardwood, so it's super strong. It shouldn't break. It's pretty thick, so that'll be right beside me tonight, just in case. So next I'm going to make the Ojibwe bird snare. We set some snares for rabbits, we set the squirrel pole up, but obviously we're not going to use it. But another snare we can do for birds, it's called the Ojibwe bird snare. So basically we need a piece of wood. It's good if it's live, like this one. This is a tree I cut down earlier for using the boughs in the smoke generator. So I just cut it into a more manageable length, and basically I need to cut a square, we'll call it almost a shelf. So I'll just cut with my saw on either side, here and here, and then we'll cut in, and that should leave us with a nice point. You'll see what I'm talking about right away. I'll go ahead and cut it, and I'll see you guys back here in 1 sec. Okay, so if we see here, I made the 2 slits down the side. So now I'm just going to cut it across and across, and we should just be left with this center piece here. So I'm just going to cut that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've cut it like that. You don't necessarily have to use the saw. I just did to make a nicer cut. You could theoretically use your knife and put it and hammer it down onto the spot. That would theoretically work too. Okay, so once I have this, I gotta make a hole. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a hole with my knife. Okay, so I've got my hole through there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but it goes through, yay. So now that I have that, I gotta turn this into a point, because if it's not, the bird's gonna land on this instead of the stick that we place in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and make that a point, and then we'll show you guys the next step here right away. Okay, so I made this a point. Hopefully no birds land on the point instead, but you never know, there could be a pretty daring bird. So now I'm gonna go pick a spot where I wanna set it up here, and then once I have that spot, I'll show you guys the next step. We got a stick, we need some cordage, some wire, and we also need a drop pole. So I'll be back. So I set up the bird snare right here. I got the counterweight. So I got to tie my my string here to the counterweight, and then this is I whittled this little stick here from the knife. Basically, this is going to sit in the hole, and it's going to be held in place by the string and a knot. And then when the bird sits on it, it's going to fall, and then the counterweight is going to pull. There'll be a snare here with the string. The counterweight's going to pull the snare down, and it'll pin the bird up against this stick. So I'm going to go ahead and build it for you guys real quick. It's hard to get on camera, and then I'll show you the final result. So here's the knot in the string. This is going to be what holds the stick in place for when the bird stands on it. So I'm going to set it up here. It's just about done, and you guys will see. So that's what the perch looks like here with the knot. I'm not sure if it'll focus, not holding it in place. And I'm just going to quickly make the snare. Okay, So this is the snare all set up. There's the perch. It's a little long. Ideally you want the snare to be the full length, right? Because if he lands here, then I'm not going to catch him in my snare. But for this demonstration, it'll be just okay. The string goes to the counterweight. Something to note is you don't want the counterweight to be too heavy, because if it's too heavy, when the snare pins the bird's legs up against the pole, it's going to snap him off. And then you're not going to have a bird, and he's going to be pretty upset with no legs. So you need kind of a middle ground weight for the size of bird you're going for. You can see there, it's hard to tell, but the knot is bounded up against the hole. So hopefully the bird comes, releases, and then the counterweight pulls them against the pole, and then they can't get away. Would be the ideal situation. So that is the Ojibwe bird snare. I'm gonna set it up here, and hopefully I'll catch a bird. Maybe we'll see. So I shortened the length of the perch just so that the snare covers the whole thing. That way, if something was to land on it, they should for sure get caught. Ideally, I'd want to put some bait right on the perch, right? So the bird would come to land on it to take the bait. The best thing to use would probably be some rabbit guts, or if you found any other wild edibles, but unfortunately I never got a rabbit, so I can't. But for this demonstration, it'll be okay just like this. So I'll let this be. Counterweight is hanging, and hopefully an unsuspecting bird would come by, and maybe if I catch a crow or something, I can feed him and he'll be my pet. And then I'll have a pet in this survival situation to give me some mental boost. But anyways, yeah, that is the Ojibwe bird snare. Now I want to try to get up another ground to air signal. So I'm going to try to make a V. The V indicates to rescuers that I require assistance. I could make an X or a plus sign. That would mean I require medical assistance, but I don't yet, thank God. So maybe if I hurt myself, I'll make an X. But for now, I'm just going to make a V out of the remaining trees that I cut down for the smoke generator. So I'm just going to pack this area down with my snowshoes. Yep. I chose this spot because it's a bit of a clearing. So if someone was to fly over, they should hopefully see it. Okay, so the area is pretty packed down. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my remaining logs from the smoke generator, and I'm going to put them in the shape of a V. And generally, you want the V to point to where you are. Sorry, I knocked the camera with the trees. So I'm going to start with these two. We'll go out just like this. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to cut down some more trees, and we'll use the boughs and we'll lay them down in the shape of a V. So hopefully it can be seen by searchers. So I'm going to get to it. I'll bring you guys back here when my V is a little bit more complete. Now ideally you want this to be really big. Here I'm kind of space constrained, but if I had a bigger opening, I would make a bigger signal. But for now, with the smoke generator and the garbage bag, and we'll also do something with the Mylar blanket right away. That's 4 signals. We're giving ourselves a pretty good chance to get noticed by an aircraft or a rescuer. So yeah. Okay, might have been kind of hard to see from the angle I had there, but that's our V. And it's pointing towards our camp. right? Ideally, we want it to be as big as possible, but we're kind of space constrained by the size of the clearing. But it should be good enough. If we get the smoke generator going, and it draws the rescuers to us, then they can see the arrow and it's pointing to our camp. And then we got our garbage bag and our blue tarp. All those make for pretty good shelter, or sorry, for pretty good signal. So hopefully we get rescued. One more signal. We can make one more signal here. I got the smoke generator, the flag, or the garbage bag. I got the tarp, I got the fire going, I got the arrow that we just made. So now, using the Mylar blanket that we get in our kit, I can make another flag. But this one, unlike the garbage bag, makes use of shine and also movement. So we're gonna get a lot of movement out of this, especially in the wind. Normally I would probably use this to try and keep warm, but since it's not very cold out, and when I have the big fire in front of me, I'm pretty much good to go. So because of that, I'm just going to use it to make a signal so that I have a better chance of getting rescued. And then if I wanted to later, if it got cold, I could always take it down and then use it for its intended purpose of keeping me warm. And the good thing about this, guys, it's super light, so it should theoretically blow with basically no wind. So now we also got this as a signal too. Pictures come by. That's a pretty good signal for them to see. So I'm gonna leave this here close to the smoke generator. And then I'll let the wind blow it, and hopefully, if searchers come by, we can get rescued. We can use it to get rescued. Now that we have a bunch of signals out, give us our best chance of getting rescued. Just built up the fire a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead and add some more boughs to my bough bed, and then after that, I'm gonna go collect a bunch more firewood. This is close to what we had last night. We made it through pretty handedly, but I don't want to risk it because that would be the worst, is waking up at 3 a.m. and running out of firewood and having to run into the bush with a headlamp on and the pajamas trying to get more firewood. So I'm gonna add more boughs to the bough bed, and then I'm gonna go collect some more firewood. So we fast forward in time a little bit here. It's probably about an hour later since my last little update, but this is the new pile of wood. I think we're probably good for the night. I might grab a few more pieces before dark. It's about 5:15. It gets dark around, I think, 6:15. So about an hour till dark. I'm gonna collect another bush bundle here that I can use to make a torch for my signal generator. And then once I have that, it'll just be hanging out around the fire. Okay, so I hope the camera didn't cut off for when I made the torch, but it is right there in the shelter. And I put it there so that if it snows, it doesn't get wet. So I can quickly light it and we're good to go. So now I'm basically just waiting for darkness. I'm just keeping the fire small for now. It's not very cold outside right now. It's well, it is cold, but it's not. I think for me working, doing some extraneous activities, I'm pretty warm still. So until I get cold, I'm gonna just keep the fire small so I don't burn wood unnecessarily. Just ate one of my bars, so we got one left. It's only 250 calories of the 1200 left. Fire's kind of getting a little low. I think it's time for me to build it up. It's 7:30, so that's bright. Oh, well, now it's dark. There, now you can see me. I got the burglar mask on again. because it's getting kind of cold. So I'm going to build up the fire. I'm going to build up the fire a bit and then start drying out my stuff. And then after that, we'll head to bed. So exciting. I'll see you guys in a bit, hopefully with a much bigger fire. Fire is raging. And I'm all tucked away. I'll see you guys in the morning, hopefully. That's a good fire. It is about 6 a.m. I just did a safety radio check with the safety crew. And just got the fire going a little bit better too. I'm probably gonna go back to sleep for a bit. I'm still pretty tired. I'm gonna sleep probably till about 8, I think. 8 or 9, and we'll see where that takes us. Right, well, I think it's like 8:30 or 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna get this fire going. Woo, have a little sneeze, and then we get some water going here so we can get hydrated and get ready for the day. Do it. Got the water going now, got the fire built back up a bit. The flag fell down in the night, so I went and picked that up. Back again. My finger has seen better days. Looking pretty good. I need to. I got some Polyspore my first aid kit. I'll throw that on there with a new Band-Aid. It's not cut. I didn't cut it. It's. Not sure if you guys can see, but it's split from the cold. So it being cold, dried out, and it's split. So gotta deal with that. I don't want it getting infected. That would suck a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and deal with that, and then I'll be back in a bit. Water's good to go. Time for the last one. And then hopefully we can get rescued. Or we'll have to go check our snares here again right away and see if we caught any rabbits. Hopefully we did. Okay, so drank some water. Have the Clif Bar. I'm going to throw these on now and go check the snares, and hopefully we got a rabbit. Oh, also something I can't forget to bring are my rabbit clubs that I made here. So these guys I can use to humanely dispatch the rabbit if I have to. So I'll bring you guys back when we're headed over there. Okay, bird snare is still set, so no birds, but it held out tonight, it didn't give away. There's our lead. So I haven't caught any rabbits in the snares today or this morning. I think I'm going to leave them until 2. Oh, there's a grouse right there. Okay. I can't legally take him, but if this is a real survival situation, this is exactly what these clubs are for. So I'm going to try to stalk him and get around him. He's pretty schizo right now. He's pretty small too. Okay. Oh, there's 2. Hello. Okay, so in an actual survival situation, I'm gonna wait for him to get into the clearing. You know what? I think I'm gonna flank them. But ideally, that's what these clubs are for. I would throw them at the grouse. But I'm gonna let these guys go since I can't legally take them right now, even though it is a hypothetical survival situation. I am curious though as to where they were sitting before. Here's the track. Oh yeah, I got them right there. So they'll bed down and make it a hole. Like that. You can see there's some droppings in there as well. So, cool. It's your lucky day, Grouse. I'm not going to pursue you any further. But back to the rabbit snare. Okay. So, like I was saying, if there's no rabbits in our snares, I think we'll leave them until about 2. And then I'm going to move them. Oh, there's another grouse. The area is just full of them. Okay, here's our first snare. No rabbits. But the grouse was really close to it, so maybe we catch a grouse with the snare. Okay, let's go. Nothing. Damn. And I can already see that they're working here. There's nothing in there. That sucks. Okay. I'm going to leave these for a bit longer. There's some fresh tracks up here. You guys probably can't see them, but maybe we'll get one off chance. And then I'll move them today a little bit later. So I'll meet you guys back at camp. Okay, so I just got back to camp here. The firewood supply, I forgot to mention, it did pretty good. So kind of my plan has been to, I collected like a bunch initially, and then I would pile what I was hoping would last me the night right here, and it did. Now I'm just back to the small fire because I don't really need it. Because it's only about -5 right now, 5 degrees Celsius, so it's not too chilly. But we're going to have to go collect some more, maybe a little bit later. Because this won't last us tonight. This is the emergency supply, in case we burn through this during the night if it's really cold, and this gets us the rest of the way. But maybe in a couple hours, I'll go do that. Right now, I just got some more water going and try to get hydrated a bit more. And I'm just going to quickly do some stuff to the smoke generator just to make it a little bit more fluffy, and hopefully it'll go better. I got this whole pail of birch bark here, so I'm going to take some of that and add it into there to make sure she goes when I light it, or if I have to light it, hopefully I do. And yeah, I'll catch up to you guys in a bit. Something I just noticed, and I think I'd mention here, is the tarp. Looks like the fire was getting a little bit too spicy for it. Meaning we're a little bit too close. I think the distance I have it now is okay. This probably happened the first night, and I just didn't notice because the first night it was really hot and it was right there. Now it's back there. So, yeah, I just got to be careful because I only got one tarp, and it's gonna have to last me every night from now on. So I can't burn it too much. Yeah, you can see it's started to melt here all the way along. So crisis averted so far, but we just got to be careful for the future. This side is totally fine because it's decently away from the fire, but we're already getting some spark holes in it here, there and there, so we just got to be mindful of it, and hopefully we don't have a spark into the 550 cord so it comes down on top of us tonight. That would suck, but I think it's good enough away where we should be okay. So when you take, if you're to come take like the courses here, you got to do level 1, 2, 3 first in wilderness safety and survival. Something we talk a lot about in the level 1 course is kind of the mental part of survival. So, for example, anger. You know, you're angry at the situation, you're stuck in it, that kind of thing. You're scared, right? Being alone, especially if you don't have the skills and you haven't done it before, it's pretty freaky. I got smoke in my eyes. Depression and guilt. That's pretty common for like accident situations, right? Or even depression is sad. Kind of gets you because you're not sure if you'll make it back or not. But the one I wanted to talk about is loneliness and boredom, because I've been out here now for 3 days, or this is day number 3. I've met pretty much all the basic necessities here to live. I got my shelter. I got my spear to kind of give me some peace of mind. You know, I also got a knife and stuff like that. I got a bunch of signals set out, and I got my fire going. I got a decent amount of wood. We'll have to collect more, but if we're running through the survival pattern, first aid, we checked the area for hazards, we cleared it. We've been monitoring us, right? Staving off hypothermia, making sure we don't get frostbite, doing the necessary repairs when they're needed. Then fire, we're good on fire. We got a fire. We're gonna have to collect more wood, but that can wait a little bit. Shelter. So we got a good shelter. Slept in it 2 nights now, and I've been pretty happy with it. Maybe I'll add more boughs to the bough bed again today. We did that yesterday, but I'll add some more again today. Signals, we set up a bunch of signals. And the smoke generator's ready to go. Like there's the torches right there in the shelter. And all I have to do is grab it, stick it into the fire, and then run over to the signal generator and get it going. Water. The water situation, well, have a look around. There's snow everywhere, so there's water everywhere. So the water situation is under control. However, we can only get it if we have the fire, right? So the fire is pretty important for the water. The food one is where we've kind of gotten unlucky. No rabbits, because this is a simulation. Can't look for or can't take squirrels and can't take those grouse. If I even would have been able to catch them, I guess is anybody's bet, but I think I could have. But in a real situation, a real survival situation, you would definitely take those grouse, and you would definitely get some squirrels if you could. But I ate the last of my 1,200 calories this morning. I just had the last quick bar like you guys saw. Walked around a bunch yesterday and didn't find any wild edibles really, but also it is the winter time, so there's not much to begin with. I was hoping to maybe find some rose hips on the kind of by the creek, but we didn't. So unfortunate. Also no Labrador tea either. I kind of weaved a little bit looking in the low ground trying to find some of it. It kind of grows in like not swampy conditions, but kind of swampy conditions, you'd call it, just lower lying areas. And nothing. So that's the only one I think we got to work on. But back to loneliness and boredom, because now we've met most of the stuff. The only one that maybe we could work on a little bit more is the food. But we got fire. We've taken care of first aid, but we're always doing first aid. But for the most part, we've taken care of first aid. We've got fire. We've got shelter. We've got signals. We got water. We had food. Hopefully we get some more. So now we just are kind of waiting to get rescued. But so I might get kind of bored. But I'm going to smoke in my eyes again. So yeah, kind of using the GoPro to stave off the boredom while we wait for rescue, but that's okay. But yeah, the key to fighting it off is just staying busy. So that's what I was saying. I'm going to move my snares here right away. Collect more wood, get more water. Maybe I'll go for another walk in a bit to try to find some more food. But it is kind of a diminishing return because at some point I'm burning more calories looking for it than I'm getting when I find it, especially when it's like rosehip berries and stuff, because there's not much energy in rosehips. So I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, just gonna hang out and keep on drinking the water. I just collected a little bit more wood there, and also I've just been kind of hanging out and getting hydrated. I think I'm a little dehydrated, so I've been just trying to boil some water. Also, the water I had stored in my steel water bottle froze, so I'm just unthawing that so I can drink it. I just gotta be careful it doesn't fall into the fire, but it should hopefully melt here. It's pretty close. I put my hand by there and it was pretty warm. Let's get this out of here so it doesn't melt. Just like that. So, yeah, and this water I think is boiling. So I'll grab it off right away and we'll get hydrated and then off to do some more wood collecting. Okay, so I'm gonna go maybe collect some more wood, but I think I hear a plane, and if that's the case, I need to fucking get my shit and go. I'm gonna light the torch. Come on. Okay, nice. Put the foot. Into the smoke generator. Pick the hat off. And back up. And signal for it. Now they should be able to see that as it goes up into the canopy. And just like that, we're rescued.
That was a good smoke generator, man. That best one yet. Yeah.
All right. Now we're rescued.
Yeah, that's Joel. That's a good smoke generator, Joel. Went fast. Aye.
Good, good. Now we're rescued. Woo! Bye-bye.
If you can't take care of yourself, you can't help others. Survivalbytraining.com